Pleasant good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome you all to the webinar on molecular aspects of biotechnology for an improved plant disease control and plant health, hosted by the Department of Food Production, Faculty of Food and Agriculture, the University of the West Indies, and co-hosted by the United Nations University Biotechnology Program for Latin America and the Caribbean. My name is Duraisamy Saravanakumar. I'm a professor of plant pathology at the Department of Food Production, Faculty of Food and Agriculture, the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus, Trinidad, the Caribbean island. I am the coordinator of this webinar and going to be the moderator of this webinar. I take this opportunity to welcome the director, School of Postgraduate Studies and Research, Professor Hariharan Sitharaman, our head of the Department of Food Production, Dr. Mark Udivera, the members from the United Nations University Biotechnology Program for Latin America and the Caribbean, Mr. Lorenzo Rodriguez, and distinguished speakers of this webinar, Dr. Davide Spadaro, Associate Professor, Plant Pathology, Faculty of Agriculture, University of Torino, Italy, Professor Muthurajan Ravindran, Professor and Head, Department of Biotechnology, Center for Plant Molecular Biology, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, India, and Dr. Shankar Ganapathy Shanmugam, Assistant Research Professor, Institute for Genomics, Biocomputing and Biotechnology, Department of Plant and Soil Sciences, Mississippi State University, USA. And the most importantly, the distinguished participants of the webinar. I once again welcome one and all. Regarding this webinar, food security is regarded as ensuring enough healthy, nutritious, and safe food for all through crop production, animal production, and animal protection, as well as protection and production of seafood systems. This statement looks so very simple, but in reality, the path of accomplishing food security and food safety has so many odds and challenges. The demand for food is never going to be reduced. It is always going to be on an increasing trend. During these difficult times, due to coronavirus outbreak, we all would have realized the importance of food production. Of several challenges, plant diseases and climate change are considered the major constraints in the cultivation of cereals and fruits and vegetables in the region, which mainly constitute for food security. The advancement of science and technology, especially in plant and microbial biotechnology, could assist plants to mitigate and adapt the challenges posed by diseases and climate change. While developing those technologies, it is equally important to build capacities to address the challenges faced in the agriculture sector, particularly due to plant diseases. The advances in plant disease management is significantly contributed by the use of biotechnology and molecular tools. It includes an early detection and diagnosis of emerging plant pathogens, including quarantine pathogens, development of host resistance, application of soil and microbial mediated plant health. With this background information, we approach the United Nations University BIOLAC program for co-hosting this webinar, which also has emerging and neglected human, animal, and plant diseases, metagenomics as a tool for environmental microbiology, sustainable bioenergy, and innovative biotechnological processes as their priority in the region. In addition, UNU-BIOLAC also worked towards the accomplishment of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Being the coordinator of the webinar, it is my responsibility to remind the goals of the United Nations. Of course, we know the Sustainable Development Goals, such as no poverty, zero hunger, and good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnerships for the goals. Of these 17 sustainable development goals, most of them are closely associated with the agriculture and food production. With all this prelude, I feel this webinar is relevant and timely during this year as the United Nations has declared the year 2020 as the International Year of Plant Health. This webinar is organized to impart the knowledge on principles and techniques of biotechnology to the participants through online presentations and virtual deliberations. In this webinar, most of the students, researchers, and academicians have registered. So with this brief introduction, I thank everyone for joining us this morning. Now, I invite our head of the Department of Food Production, Dr. Mark Udivera, to deliver opening remarks on behalf of the faculty and kindly brief the programs offered by our department for the benefit of participants join over 20 countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair and Webinar Coordinator, as well as presenter in this webinar, Professor Duraisamy Sarabakumar. Of course, he has introduced himself already. He's a plant pathologist in the Department of Food Production. Professor Haran Sisharam, Director, Graduate Studies and Research, the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. Mr. Lorenzo Rodriguez, UNU-BIOLAC, Caracas. Eminent presenters. Our moderator this morning has already gone through their names and their affiliations. So I just want to thank you, eminent presenters, especially invited guests, students, stakeholders, participants, friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, or whatever your time zone says at the moment. My name is Dr. Mark Udivera, and it is with great pleasure that I bring you greetings on the behalf of the Dean of the Faculty of Food and Agriculture, Professor Wayne Gampart, who is currently preoccupied with other pressing university matters and could not make it to this morning's proceedings. In my capacity as the head of Department of Food Production, that's the hosting department of this dynamic webinar, I proudly welcome and deeply appreciate your time here with us. From the title of the webinar and the assemblage of presentations, I can assure you that you will be glad that you made the decision to be a participant at this webinar. And not taken away from the slate of distinguished presentations we are about to listen to, just permit me to mention a few things about the webinar itself, the role of the Faculty of Food and Agriculture, Department of Food Production, and also to present to you our attractive programs and offerings. Cereals, fruits and vegetables, as we all know, and as we have already heard from our moderator, are very essential for the nutrition security of the people of the Caribbean and Latin America countries. Their production to alleviate food and nutrition insecurity in the region has, however, been hampered by so many constraints, one of which is plant diseases. Therefore, the application of appropriate advanced technologies for plant disease management to alleviate the menace caused by plant diseases is necessary for a sustainable agricultural sector in the region. Now, leveraging biological and molecular tools in plant disease management to ensure early detection and diagnosis of emerging plant pathogens, including quarantine pathogens, development of host resistance, application of soil and microbial mediated plant health is central in surmounting the challenges caused by plant diseases. The suite of lectures in this webinar will not only ensure the transfer of knowledge on these appropriate advanced techniques, but will also build regional capacity to address the challenges faced in the agricultural sector, particularly due to plant diseases. The Faculty of Food and Agriculture, particularly the Department of Food Production, in our effort to promote sustainable agriculture and food and nutrition security, has deemed this seminar timely, particularly in this year 2020, that the United Nations has declared as the International Year of Plant Health. Just a little bit on the Faculty of Food and Agriculture. The Faculty of Food and Agriculture is founded in food on and nutrition a long security and illustrious pedigree with its relevance to the 1920s. Relevant research, it continues to be the primary undergraduate and graduate tertiary level education and research in agriculture for the Caribbean and nutrition. The focus of the Faculty of Food and Agriculture and related areas is to produce the food and agriculture resources needed to make a significant contribution, not only regionally, but also globally. In the Department of Food Production, our outstanding offerings include the following. We have undergraduate programs that include, undergraduate certificate in agriculture, undergraduate diploma in agriculture. And these are, these two programs that I've just mentioned are programs that pave the way into our degree program, particularly the bachelor's in agriculture. The undergraduate diploma or certificate in agriculture is a one-year program. And so after that one-year program, after your secondary school, you can go straight into your degree program. So it's a 1+3 model. And the undergraduate diploma in agriculture is a 2-year program. And after the 2 years, you do 2 years in your degree program. So it's a 2+2 model leading to your degree. We also have bachelor's of Science majors in agricultural technology, in tropical landscaping. And we have a new major that is currently been approved for delivery in 2021. That's the major in disaster risk resilience in agriculture and the environment. We have graduate programs. Our top masters include MSc in tropical crop protection, MSc in value addition for food and nutrition security, MSc in tropical animal science and production, MSc in food security, which is a new MSc that will be on stream next year, postgraduate diploma and MSc in MSc degree in agricultural food safety and quality assurance. And most of these MSc programs are going to be blended and online in the year 2021. Some of them are already fully online. We also have our research degrees. We have MPhils and PhDs in crop science and food safety and food safety and quality, horticulture, livestock science, soil science, tropical earth and environmental science, tropical crop production. So, ladies and gentlemen, you agree with me that the University of the West Indies, Faculty of Food and Agriculture, Department of Food Production is a good destination for you to obtain your undergraduate degrees, for you to obtain even your postgraduate degree. We have very seasoned, qualified, world-renowned academics and laboratories as well. And so our doors are wide open for you to enroll in any of our programs, particularly now that, like I said, most of these programs are fully blended and online. And without much ado, moderator, I just want to appeal to our participants to sit back and make the most of this webinar presentation, as I'm sure that you will really enjoy it and be enriched by all the presentations that will take place today. Thank you very much. I appreciate this time with you.
Thank you, Dr. Udivera, for those nice words as well as for the greetings on behalf of the Faculty of Food and Agriculture. I hope we will get some handful of participants registered with our programs in the forthcoming academic year. Thank you once again. So now please join me in welcoming Professor Hariharan Sitaraman, the Director, Office of Graduate Studies and Research, for opening remarks.
Thank you, Professor Saranakumar. I do not have any prepared speech, so I won't take too long time, participants, so don't worry about it. I will have a very short opening remarks. For people with all protocols observed, I recognize the presence of Dr. Udivera, Mr. Rodriguez from the UN University, and other distinguished speakers from all over the world, Italy, Tamil Nadu, and Mississippi State University. We welcome you wholeheartedly to this webinar to enhance the food production and molecular biotechnology in plant science. I must say that I was thrilled during my undergrad days when I started to learn genetics about the possibilities of actually manipulating the genetics of alfalfa leaves and tobacco leaves to bring in hepatitis vaccine in alfalfa leaves and all that stuff. So I was so thrilled about those possibilities, and I'm now thrilled that you all actually use the technology to actually reach that sustainable development goals to for food security. Because I'll tell you that I am from a for the participants, I'm telling you that I am from a medical background as a clinician, when my own classmates and people, beat their chest that, doctors profession and stuff like that. I always tell that, the farmer and the agricultural specialist is the most important, because as you see now, with the abnormal times we have now in COVID, doctors are, we are just seeing that, okay, you have the COVID and we will just try and develop a vaccine. But the food is what is so important. And if you don't have a food security, and if you don't enhance the food production, we all will suffer a lot. And I am so happy that, for people who don't know the history of University of West Indies, this started as Imperial College of Tropical Agriculture, actually. So 70 years back, and we have come a long way now as a Faculty of Food and Agriculture, and with molecular biotechnological aspects dominating the science. And my another role as a what do you call president of Bioethics Society of the English-speaking Caribbean, we have a lot of discussions about the genetic modifications of existing plants. And I am always a very strong proponent of using the genetic technology to actually develop resistance for the pathogens, rather than actually using other chemicals, which is going to be much more dangerous. So when you see the risk benefit, I do feel that the molecular biotechnology aspects actually far outweighs the risk of just the concerns of playing God and all that will come. But I must say that I confess that I am not very much buying those arguments. And so I'm very, very happy that these things happen in our our faculty, our campus. And this is a world-class research which is happening here. So I want to bring in greetings from the senior management team of the campus, and I wish you all the the good luck in enhancing the technology. And I wish you all benefit from this webinar. And Professor Saravana Kumar, kudos to you for bringing in this United Nations University and bringing in this type of a webinar for enhancing our technology and education. And with those few words, I wish you all the best, and have a wonderful day, and educate yourself, and have a wonderful season and a safe year. And no wonder UN called this as a year of plant health, and we cannot call it as a human health, because it will be so ironical. So wish you all the best. Thank you for the opportunity, Professor Saravana Kumar.
Thank you very much, Professor Sitaraman, for taking time off from your busy schedule, and for those wonderful words and greetings on behalf of the graduate studies, as well as the University of the West Indies management team. As you mentioned, really, I also thought that probably we should have thought about International Year of Human Health, as you indicated. But things are progressing, and hope we will have something called vaccine with the advancement of science and technology to stop the spread of this virus. So once again, I thank you very much, sir, for your time and greetings. And now, before we proceed, I would like to make an announcement. If you see in the chat box, I would have shared the agenda of the webinar, which you could download, and you could see the proceedings of today's webinar. You could always check it in chat box. Suppose if you have any concerns or anything, you could type it in chat box. Thanks. Also, I would like to remind the participants to mute your mic, and you could turn off your video so that you will get better internet connection and bandwidth. Thanks for your understanding again. Now, I welcome Mr. Lorenzo Rodriguez, who is a member and staff of the University of the United Nations University BIOLAC, to brief distinguished delegates and participants on the functions of the United Nations University in the region and funding opportunities to the research scholars and academicians. Mr. Rodriguez, um, I have a brief resume of Mr. Rodriguez to read before he begin. He's a political scientist, recently graduated with honors from the University of Carabobo, and he's a member of the State Alumni Network as a beneficiary from the Global Agrad Exchange Program sponsored by the US Department of State, has volunteered in many civic organizations in which he advanced executive positions such as academic coordinator, and secretary academic, deeply engaged with the grassroots actions. He worked as a public speaking facilitator in a capacity building program in local communities in Valencia, Venezuela. Besides, he worked as advisor in the development of an integrated academic proposal for the study of ethics and sustainability. Currently, he's a member of the program of biotechnology in Latin America and the Caribbean as assistant to the coordinator. Yes, Mr. Rodriguez, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction, Dr. Saravana Kumar. And I would like to thank you, previous speakers, for your insightful comments and kind recommendations regarding this webinar. Before your formal start, I would like to share with you a few things of what we do in the UNU-BIOLAC program. I'm not going to take so long because I know that you only have one day and that you really want to be part of this great academic activity. So I hope that all of you can see my screen.
Yes, we are seeing. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Let's start. What is the United Nations University? The University of the United Nations is an autonomous body of the United Nations system, which is different to the formal United Nations as an organization. The United Nations organization is composed of 6 main organs: the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, and so on and so forth. Meanwhile, the UN system is composed of the different specialized agencies such as UNICEF, UNESCO, and the WHO, for example. And the United Nations University, it's part of this UN system in which we are like with them and working together, but we are not part of them. And purpose is to link the international academic community to encourage international cooperation and a network of research and training centers. Its academic work began in 1975, and 40 years later, its scope has extended to more than 12 institutes and programs around the world. Currently, we have institutes in different parts of the globe. UNU-BIOLAC Caracas, it's the one located in South America. It's the only one located in Latin America and the Caribbean. Meanwhile, the CPR, the Center for Policy Research, it's located nowadays in the United Nations building in New York. The other centers are located mainly in South Asia and Europe. So what we do? Our program facilitates training, coaching, and research within the framework of the interaction between science, technology, and modern society, trying to contribute to the social and economic development of the region through biotechnology. So we aim to prepare and qualify professionals, partnering and encouraging different academic activities, such as courses and fellowships. UNU-BIOLAC was created in 1988 through an agreement between the Venezuelan government and the United Nations University. That's the main reason why our host country is Venezuela. However, To assure neutrality and neutrality in our strategic decisions, the coordinator is advised by a scientific advisory committee composed by different experts trying to represent the whole region. So Dr. Helen Asimota is representing the Caribbean, Flor Pujol representing Venezuela and part of the north of South America. Dr. Martina Crispo is representing the south of South America, and Dr. Guillermo Gosset it's representing the northern part of the subcontinent. Sorry. So after 32 years of work, we can say that we have granted 342 grants, scholarships to do research, and a total of 345 courses, academic activities created to propitiate international cooperation and networking. However, to work with us, it's to be part of those different priority areas that are strictly related with the Sustainable Development Goals. For this biennium, 2020 and 2021, we have these 4 priority areas: emerging and neglected human, animal, and plant diseases, multigenomic as a tool for environmental microbiology, sustainable bioenergy, and innovative biotechnological processes. This is not mandatory necessarily. I mean, if you have a specific research proposal that it's not strictly related with these priority areas, you may have the opportunity to be sponsored by the program, but you just have to explain it very well. Why? Because these particular areas are strictly related with this. And because we are part of the United Nations, we have to advance the agenda of the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. So let's get to business. Fellowships. It's a specific academic activity aiming to support young professionals with graduate qualifications from Latin America and the Caribbean to do research in another country and in another institute to further advance their professional ambitions, and also to create capacity to be a tool for capacity building in the country in which they live in, not the country in which they are going to do their fellowship. Courses. The purpose of the courses that we support is to promote learning through global and regional experts teaching advanced short courses. For example, a specific workshop made in Colombia, in which several researchers and experts from around the globe go to share their knowledge with the participants. That specifically is what we are aiming for, to propitiate networking and international cooperation between different continents, between different institutions and experts, to share all they know with the researchers of this region, of Latin America and the Caribbean. At 2019, 405 students on average from the region participated in our courses. Sadly, during this year, we did have activities to the pandemic outbreak, but we are sure that on 2021 we will have them because they are already rescheduled. So please stay tuned on our social media. So to apply, we usually do an annual call for proposals, maybe 2 or 3 a year, at least once, and we are receiving proposals for academic activities such as courses or fellowships. However, on the website, you will find all the information that you need to submit an application. Our fellows receive a one amount of 3,000 USD for covering the expenses during the research, plus 500
I think Mr. Rodriguez has some challenges.
Sorry, with my and the microphone was on mute, but now I'm back again.
Okay, great, thanks.
sorry for sorry for the interruption. So how I was saying, fellows receive a one-off amount of 3,000 USD for their uh, related expenses during their research, plus an amount, a monthly amount of 500 per month for laboratory expenses. That is what we call the bench fee for, researching. And the courses can up to $50,000. But usually when you are a coordinator of a course, the hosting institution in which the course coordinator works should present a counterpart contribution to the course too. For example, in or covering some of the expenses. Finally, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and any inquiry or question that you may have those email addresses. We will gladly receive any of your questions, and we will answer you immediately. And please stay tuned of what we share on Twitter and Facebook, because if you do so, you will be posted of what we are doing and the webinars that are coming in the next year and all the courses and any new thing that you may have for you. That will be all, dear Dr. Saramana Kumar. If you want, you may proceed. And if any of the participants have questions, I will gladly answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, for the brief information about UNU-BIOLAC, as well as the roles and responsibilities of UNU-BIOLAC in the region. And also, thanks very much for those funding opportunities to our graduates, as well as the researchers across the region. I hope that they will get benefits from those funding opportunities. For the benefit of participants, I posted the presentation prepared by Mr. Lorenzo in chat box, so you could always download that and you could look for the funding opportunities as well as the fellowships offered by UNU-BIOLAC, and you could always visit their website and Facebook and Twitter, and you could always make use of the opportunities. So thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, and so with that, we have come to the end of this opening session. Now we are going forward with our presentations.